So what do you think? Are those loud pipes going to save my life one day? Well, that question's been asked, and that statement has been said that loud pipes save lives. So let's discuss that. Hey, there we go. Okay, so I just got done doing the little intro video in the parking area, and so now we're going to talk about, for real, do loud pipes save lives? And the answer is no. No, they do not. I want to unpack this in a couple of different ways. I'm going to give you some actual studies, and then I'm going to give you a couple of observations, and then I'm going to give you things that actually will reduce accidents and save your life. So again, the question is posed, do loud pipes save lives? That's been a myth, a story, a saying that's been going around the motorcycle community forever, I guess. I've always heard it, even before I was riding motorcycles. So the answer is no, not at all. So the study portion of this, I'm going to start off with the American Motorcycle Association. They did a study, and they found that there was no correlation between loud pipes and accidents in a way that would suggest a significant decrease in accidents. And then there's the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration report, and what they found was that approximately 75% of motorcycle accidents involve collisions with another vehicle, typically a car, and that loud pipes did not show a statistically significant reduction in those types of accidents. Next up, we have the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. They said that modifications to increase motorcycle noise, including pipes or exhaust, which honestly I don't know what other modifications you can do to increase motorcycle noise, but whatever, loud pipes did not correlate with a reduction in accidents. So there's 3 studies that all say the same thing from different people, different organizations, that basically debunk loud pipes saving lives. All 3 studies came with the same conclusion, that louder or modified exhaust did not show any kind of reduction in accidents. So now let's bop over to Europe. Europe's always kind of fun because they're so uptight and regulated over there. So they have noise regulations, of course, they do. So they did a study, and their study basically, got a turn coming up here, hold on. Their study basically said that a quieter or below average exhaust did not show an increase in accidents in their study. And that study came from the European Road Safety Observatory. So there you have it. 4 studies coming from 2 different directions, all saying the same thing. So why is that? Why do loud pipes not save lives? I mean, you got all kinds of loud pipes out there. So why do loud pipes not save lives? The answer is twofold. And it's not that people aren't paying attention. That's a visual thing more than anything. The answer is mainly A, modern technology and modern vehicles. The sound dampening in cabs of vehicles are so much better than they used to be, and the audio systems in vehicles are also significantly better. So let's put it in perspective. If I'm riding my car and it's summertime, I've got the windows up, I've got the AC running, and I've got my radio or my MP3, I've got my Spotify rocking, I'm not going to hear a motorcycle, especially if it's behind me or even beside me. I might hear it if it's directly in front of me, but guess what? I see it also. And then there's the idea of the exhaust. Oh, this is a good turn. As you can see, another reason is the way the exhaust pipes are flowing. They're flowing behind me. And because they're flowing behind me, traffic in front of me, especially at an intersection across the street where a left-hand turner is most likely to be, is not going to hear me. Especially if he has his windows up, the AC going, and his music blaring. That rear-facing exhaust is probably one of the biggest reasons why a loud pipe won't save your life, because most of your accidents are in front of you. Most accidents do not happen from behind. Some do, yes, that's true, but not all, and not even the majority. So to summarize, loud pipes don't save your life. I gave you the studies that said why they don't save your life, and some just, street level knowledge or some street level experience as to why, you may not be heard on your motorcycle even though you think you are. So let's talk about some real, actionable, practical things that will help you. Every rider has tres lines of defense against getting into an accident or getting hurt really bad. And just before I go in there, let me set the stage. I did ask Google about, the leading causes of motorcycle accidents, and it gave me 4. And one of them you'll know right off the top, target fixation. Where I'm looking at something and my body naturally wants to go to what I'm looking at. And if you're on a motorcycle or even if you're driving a car, obviously that vehicle is going to take you to where you're looking at. So target fixation causes a lot of problems. Motorcyclists, they freeze up when they're coming into a corner or they come into a hairy situation. They want to get out of it, and they end up looking at the danger, and instead of looking past the danger and finding an exit route, they look at the danger, at the very thing they want to avoid, and then they smash into it. Target fixation. Another thing is, of course, and we touched on this a little bit already, the left-hand turn vehicles at an intersection. They don't see you, they're not paying attention, they're in a hurry, what have you. That's a problem, obviously. Another one is drinking and driving. Just like it's a problem with your 4-wheel cager, it's a problem for your 2-wheel motorcyclist. And then the other one, which is another real problem for some motorcyclists, speeding and driving reckless. Those are your 4 leading causes for accidents and deaths on motorcycles. And you know what they all have in common? Loud pipes don't change any of it. Loud pipes don't stop the left-hand turner. Loud pipes don't stop you from drinking, speeding, or break you from your target fixation. Loud pipes aren't helping you at all. And the other thing that's in common with all of those scenarios is you. You are in common with all that. You are the first line of defense. Now I'm going to get into those 3 defenses now that I've set that preamble up. So who are you? Who are you? And that takes that's an honest question that requires an honest answer. And what I mean by that is most people don't want to admit who they are. And let me go about that by asking a few other questions. Are you emotional? Do you freak out in high stress situations? Do you lock up in high stress situations? Are you the kind of person that when you get offended, you feel like it's your duty, nay, your universe calling to correct that person? Whether it be running up and punching a mirror off, chasing them down and giving them a piece of your mind, because we all know that works, right? That helps people become better at what they do when they get yelled and screamed at, especially by someone they don't know from out of the blue in their perception. You know, are you that guy or gal? You know, if here's what I'm going to say about all of that. If you get into a close encounter, but you made it out the other side without getting wrecked, without anything bad happening, let it the heck go. It ain't worth chasing them down. You're not going to teach them a lesson. In fact, the one lesson you are going to teach them is to hate bikers even more. They don't know you. You don't know them. You don't have a calling to correct them, and they don't have an obligation to listen to you scream at them. And also, I'm going to say this. If you're that guy that is on video like I am now, and somebody does something, don't be this guy. Don't be this guy that's turning around and looking around and waving your hands everywhere, because all you're doing is now you've cleared one danger, but you're purposely putting yourself into another danger moment. Keep your eyes on the road and your hands upon the wheel. Hats off to you if you recognize that Doors song, even though I can't sing. But look, if you made it, my whole point to this, 1, be mentally stable. Don't be thinking you're good enough on a bike to think that you can go hit the bar, drink a pitcher of beer and a few margaritas and whatever else, and think you can ride good. You can't. And then don't be the guy that's so mentally unstable that you freak out every time there's a close call, you know. And don't be so arrogant as to think that you're the one that's going to teach them a lesson. If you get into an accident, or if you get into a tight situation that doesn't lead you being into an accident, go about your merry way. Go about your day, do your thing, stay out of trouble. There's probably more I could say about that, but I guess I won't. I'll start getting repetitive. Just be an adult on your bike. Don't be dumb. Don't be speeding. Don't be driving reckless. Don't be drinking and driving. And don't be thinking that you're the king of the road and you need to teach everybody else a lesson. If you make it out alive, just keep on going and enjoy life. Thank God that you didn't get splattered. That's your first line of defense, is you. You are your first line of defense. So then what is your second line of defense? Well, closely related to you is your training. Here in America, we have god-awful training standards. Like the MSF, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course, is so remedial and so basic, and they're so in a hurry to make sure everybody passes that it almost makes it pointless. I mean, you do learn some good basic stuff, but you know what? I could teach those same basic things. You know, how to duck walk your bike, how to stay in the friction zone. look before you turn, you know, stuff like that. Simple, basic stuff. I mean, if you've never been on a motorcycle, it's good. I'm not going to knock it and say it's completely worthless. I'm just saying that it is so basic that for what we do and for as much freedom as we enjoy, it's almost dangerous how basic it is. Like I could, you know, the day I passed my MSF course, I could have went and got a 900-pound Harley and started banging down the road. You know, that's like, it's like, you know, a kid that just came out of driver's ed at 16 and you hand him the keys to a Maserati. No one in their right mind does that. So MSF course is like kindergarten, right, for motorcycling. And don't lie to yourself and say you're going to teach yourself all that you need to know. All you're going to do is teach yourself a bunch of bad habits or listen to a bunch of other people with a bunch of bad habits. And if, God forbid, you should ever find yourself in a tight situation, you're going to do what your bad habits have trained you to do. There are actual people out there that know what they're doing and know what they're talking about that will help you and want to help you be better on your bike. My first pick above everybody, because of the general range of knowledge that he has for everything around biking, is Dan the Fireman. I've dropped his name more than once on this channel, and I'll keep dropping it because I think it's worth it. He was an EMT, a paramedic, and he's probably scraped more bodies off the road than you and I will ever see. Anyways, go check out his YouTube channel, especially his after action reports, where he's, you know, critiquing, not to make fun of people, but things that people do. He usually pulls videos from Moto Madness and I don't know, was it Moto Stars or something like that? Because that's where all the lunatics are. That's where all the people are that you shouldn't be emulating, and he uses them as teaching tools. And he's got a wonderful, just a way about him. He will teach you literally everything you need to know to read the road, read the room, read the situation that you're in, and avoid accidents before you actually ever get into them. If you run a heavy cruiser like I do, two guys come to mind. Robert Simmons of Be the Boss of Your Own Motorcycle, retired New York Police Department motorcycle cop lieutenant, and Jerry Palladino, another retired motorcycle cop, and his is Ride Like a Pro. And I think, and those two, they both have, again, teachable materials that you can purchase and practice on your own, and they also have personalized training and classes and all that stuff. Dan the Fireman, of course, has his own merchandise line. And Jerry Palladino has free downloads, printable downloads, so you can practice the basic stuff at your leisure without spending a dime. And then there's another guy, probably the first guy I actually started listening to and learning from, Moto Jitsu. I forget his name. No, his name is Greg. I don't know his last name. But Moto Jitsu. Now, he's a bit arrogant and cocky and kind of snotty at times, but he knows his stuff across a whole range of motorcycles. Again, good people to learn from. Actual masters of the craft of motorcycling. But here's what I'll say about training and parking lot training. A lot of people will say, well, we don't actually do that on the street. Well, actually, that might be right, but actually, you're going to learn a lot of secondary and tertiary skills that will supplement your main focus of riding on the street, and you're going to be better at it. You're going to learn how to see things before they actually happen so that you don't get into those things. Don't knock it. But if there's only 3 skills that, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I'm no instructor, that you practice, they should be swerving, progressive braking, and your U-turns. U-turns are nice because if you're on a 2-lane road like I am right now and there's no shoulder and you want to make a quick about face, being able to do a nice tight U-turn is really good and safer for you because you're not caught out in the intersection duck walking. Other than that, it's good for parking lots, gas stations that might be congested, things like that. But out of those three, if you only pick two, please, 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 please practice your progressive emergency braking. Their goal is to not activate the ABS and not lock up your tires. Tires stop by friction, rubber to the road. And if you lock up your tires and you're going into the slide, you're either going to go into a low slide, so to avoid an accident, you're going to cause an accident. You're going to go into a high side, like I did, to avoid an accident. You're going to cause a worse accident and then get really beat up. That's what happened to me. You never ever have to lay a bike down. You have to practice your braking and get really good at it, especially your front brake, because that is your best friend. 70% of your stopping is in your front brake. This, of course, is maintenance, right? Keep your brakes bled, keep your pads fresh, keep your rubber good. All that works together. And then swerving. Swerving is the next absolute best thing, and these two can be used together or separately. Just know when you're swerving, you're pushing on your handlebars. Push left, go left, counter steering, push right, go right. And you want to be good at that at speed, because doing a 20-mile-an-hour counter steer is quite a bit different than doing a 40 or 50-mile-an-hour counter steer. Swerve, that is. Forgive me. And if you're one of those guys where your arms are all stretched out, then you're going to have to learn to pull, because a push on the left is the same as a pull on the right. Just little chips and ticks like that. So that's your second line of defense, is your training and your diligence in practicing. And your third line of defense is your oh crap defense. And unfortunately, the third line of defense is what many, many, many people use for their first line of defense, and that's your gear. Your gear. Your gear is there not to prevent an accident. That's what your first two defenses are. Your gear is there when the first two fail. Something's gone wrong, something completely out of control, what have you. Now the third line of defense is all about damage mitigation, not prevention. And how much gear you wear, the quality of gear you wear, how well it fits, that all plays into it. If you're doing 75 miles an hour and you're only wearing nothing, that's super bad. You're going to get the max amount of damage available. If you're wearing some gear that's CE1 rated, that's better. That's better than nothing. But you know what? You're still going to catch a whole lot of damage. So just things to consider. And I know it's hot. When it's super hot like it has been, I'm not riding, generally speaking. Today it's like 85 degrees and I've got gloves, my mesh gear, my Kevlar lined riding jeans and my boots, and of course a full face helmet. So I'm good with that. Am I sweating? Yep, sure am. But you know what? Sweating is free. Skin grafts aren't. But even with gear, you can still get beat up. When I got into my accident, I high-sided it at about 45 miles an hour, slammed onto the ground, and basically jacked up my entire left side for almost a year. And I had armored leather, full face helmet, gloves, I did not have riding jeans, because I was coming home from work, but I did have my leather chaps, and I had mid-rise riding boots, almost like sport bike boots. And you know what? My left foot needed to be operated on because those boots didn't do crap. My legs were saved from getting tore up because of my leather chaps. Two of my left ribs and my shoulder blade were both fractured because the way I landed, unfortunately, the armoring didn't really do anything for those kinds of injuries. But again, the leather took all the abuse as I slid down the road, and so I didn't need to have any extra pain added with recovering from a bad case of road rash. And the gloves took the beating that they were supposed to take. My hands were fine. And if it wasn't for a full face helmet, I would not be alive today to make this video. What I'm saying is, your gear is just strictly damage mitigation. It's not there to prevent anything else. It's just there to prevent you from being as hurt as you could be if you didn't have it at all. So I want to wrap this video up and just say, look guys, be safe, be smart, be mature on your machines, because we are the most exposed thing on the road, and we will lose every fight when it comes into playing bumper tag. So the best way to win the fight is to not get in the fight. But just know that everything common sense and studies, professional study-wise, literally debunks loud pipes save lives. They don't. That's a nice catchy thing. It's a nice thing that people tell themselves to justify their loud pipes. And you know what? I love my loud pipes. I love my Vance & Hines. I love your loud pipes, you know? But don't lie to yourself and tell you that they're a form of safety. They aren't. That's like saying, you know what? My half helmet's just as good as a full face helmet. No, it's not. Your half helmet is complete garbage. It might save you in a 1 in a million time, but it's not actual safety gear. So that's how it works with your loud pipes. You might find an anecdotal story where a loud exhaust might have played a part in preventing an accident, thereby saving a guy's life, potentially, but that's not normal. Don't make the exception to the rule normative to your well-being. All right, I'm done. That was my video about loud pipes, and hope you all have a good day. Stay safe out there. Have a good one. Peace.